Tape 3W suivi d'école au Sénégal.com. À école au Sénégal, c'est facile, tu n'as qu'à te connecter. Tape école au Sénégal, les leçons sont beaucoup plus détaillées.
We're back with advice. Remember how we talked about suggestions or recommendations? And I told us that suggestions is giving an advice, a plan or idea. And I said, though suggestions and advice are kind of like intertwined or correlated, but yet there exists a little bit of difference. And what is that difference? Do you remember? I told us that advice is giving your idea, your opinion, whereas a suggestion is giving an idea or a plan that could be considered, that could be looked upon, that could be analyzed, that could be thought upon. Whereas an advice, you know, it's just your opinion. It's just your thought. It may or may not be considered. It may or may not be regarded. And so, which are some of the ways that you can probably give your advice to someone? And I know there are lots of ways that you can do or you can say in order to probably advise someone about something. And I have a couple of them on the board. And most of them, there are lots, but these are the most frequent ones that we usually use or say. For example, what do you think I should do? What do you think I should do about this situation? I'm stuck, I'm deadlocked. What's your advice on this? What's your take on this? How do you help me out? How would you handle this? So what do you think I should do? What do you think I should do? Should is a model, remember? What should I do? There's an I there. What should I do? What should I do? Should I go or should I stay? What should I do? Should I take him back or not? What should I do? Please tell me. Please help me out. What should I do? What do you suggest? What do you suggest? What's your idea? What's your plan? What do you suggest I do? What do you suggest they do? What do you suggest Paul does? Because Paul is a third person singular, so it is does. It's no longer do. So what do you suggest Mary does? What do you suggest? What do you advise me to do? What do you advise me to do? What do you advise me to do? How do I go about this project? How do I go about the situation? What do you advise me to do? What ought I do? What ought, something that people often are used to, ought. What ought I do? What ought I do? Ought is simply like, what do you think I should do? What's the right way to go about this? What ought I do? How can I do this? What do you recommend or suggest? What do you recommend or suggest? What do you recommend? If you were me, what would you do? If you were me, if you were in my shoes, if you were in my position, what's your take on this? What would you do? How would you carry along? What do you think? What do you think? This is my project. What do you think? So these are some of the advices. What's your take on this? Please advise me. I need your thought about something. I need you to decide. Let's make a decision about something. They need a decision. I need your input about something. I need your input. Please help me out. Those are simple ways that you can use, different sentences you can use in order to seek an advice, you know, about something, or an opinion, or a second opinion about something. That's oftentimes advice comes in when you're either confused or undecisive, or you need a second look, a fresh pairs of eyes, or you need a second thought about something and you need a decision. These are some of the terms, these are some of the things that you can probably, that you should use. You know, we have new terms here: recommend, suggest, ought, advise. You know, if you wear my shoes, if you wear me, if the tables are turned around and it was, you know, turned around, what would you do? You should, you know, these are some of the things that you should probably think about. I hope that helps, and that's advice, that's recommendations and suggestions. I've showed you different ways that you can use. I've taught you, given you examples. Now you have to go practice, do your research, and try them out. English is about trying, in your language is about trying. Use them in different situations, okay? Pronounce well, and I'll see you next time. Thank you. There are three main ways, or three primary ways that you can use or say, you in order to request to ask someone to do something. The first one is could you, would you mind, can you. Could you open the door for me, please? Could you open the door for me, please? It's a request, so it's a question mark. Could you open the door for me, please? Could you open the door for me, please? Could you pick up that book? Always please. It's important, please. Could you? Could you? I told you could is always an option. Would you mind? It's an ing. Would you mind opening the door? Would you mind opening the door for me, please? Would you mind? Means it doesn't make any difference. Would you mind opening? There's always an ing. The verb follows an ing like a gerund. Would you mind opening the door for me, please? Would you mind picking up that book off the floor, please? Would you mind shutting the door, please? Would you mind shutting the door, please? Can you open the door, please? Can you open the door, please? Can you open the door, please? Could is much more softer. Can you open the door, please? Can you pick up the book or that book off the floor? Can you shut the door, please? Can you go on an errand for me, please? Can you? Those are the three main ways that you should use. Could you? Would you mind? Can you? Can you is often used. Can you is often used. Would you mind? Can you? And then what about if it's you wanting to do something for someone? Because the first part is about you requesting assistance, requesting help, requesting, that someone does something for you. What about if you want to provide assistance for someone? What is it that you can do? What is it that you have to say? There are 4 steps. Can I? Because you are the one wanting to help someone. Could I? Do you mind if? Would you mind if? Can I? Can I help you, please? Can I help you? Can I help you? There's no need saying please because you're the one offering to help someone, offering you services. Can I help you? You go to a restaurant, you go to, a bookstore. Can I help you? Can I help you? Can I assist you? Can I do something for you? Can I open the door for you? Could I? Could I? Could I be of help? Could I open the door for you? Do you mind? Do you mind? How do you use do you mind? Do you mind if I held your bag? Do you mind if I held your bag? Do you mind if I help your bag? Do you mind? Would you mind if? Would you mind if I turned off the light? Would you mind? With would, the word with would you mind if, the verb is in the past tense. Could you mind if, the verb is in the present tense. It's important that you know that. Do you mind if I turn on the light? Would you mind if I stand here? Would you mind if I take your bag? Would you mind if I pull the chair? Do you mind? Would you mind if I turned off the light. Would you mind if they walked away? Would you mind if Mary took the stairs? Do you mind if William takes that book? Because William is a third person singular, so he takes, not take. Would you mind if William takes the book? Would you mind if they come over here? So these are some of the terms that you can use for if you want to ask. Oftentimes, if you want to, ask a question or something, oftentimes you'll say, can I help you? That's often used. Could I be of assistance? Could I help you? Could I go with you? Do you mind if I listen? Do you mind if I go? Do you mind if she takes that drink? Would you mind if I turn it on? Would you mind if I turned it off? That's past tense. Would you mind if I went back home? Would you mind if I assisted you? Would you mind if I replaced you at that meeting? Would you mind? They're polite ways of saying that. So I hope that this helps. These are some of the ways that you can make a request. And I told you there are two main ways, two parts: you asking and you requesting. You're requesting for assistance and you're asking to help. I hope that this helps. And then we're going to look at how you respond to that. How do you respond to a request when someone gives you a request? Okay? Thank you.
Jana tukero basona manga jangale gita do bouger do faywa. Nge elef ta tolo ci exam linga sarla am na fita mo gën